Hi there, welcome to another episode of Fearless and Free TV. Today I'm going to be sharing a message that came in a couple of days ago from Father God. And normally I don't communicate with Father God because pretty much everybody else does. So anything that he has to say is probably being said through someone else. But I had the insight, I kept hearing him calling me for a couple of days because I felt that there was a plan, and the masculine aspect of all that is planning, strategizing, that sort of thing. So the father aspect of God is, well, everybody's probably heard about God's plan. So I wanted to know, what is God's plan? Because what's happening on the planet right now, or at least a few days ago, was feeling very, very chaotic. I could feel human beings feeling broken, and a lot of hope was starting to leave the planet, and it felt like something really needed to be done. So I'd been feeling this need to tune in and find out. What I didn't know is, in the meantime, June 21st was a very powerful astrological day. Aside from being the summer solstice, it was also a couple of other things were happening astrologically. And there were organized meditations and prayers all across the planet. And what I didn't know until this morning was that over 1 billion people had lifted up their voices and asked for help, asked for divine intervention. And so this message coming in a couple of days after that now makes even more sense. So rather than me trying to tell you what my interpretation of the message was, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. As I do so many other times, I find that when I just read the message that it comes in, it is allowed to sit with every person with where they are and where they need the message to be for themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. This is a love stream that came in on 6/23/2020. I'm calling out Father God, Plan of Action. My dear sweet child, this is Father Creator, infinite loving source of all that is. Yes, you are correct that I have a plan for my children, my human creations. You are all beautiful beings, perfectly designed for infinite creation within yourselves. You are all the I am that I am, and you are all that I am embodied as each of you. You are all learning as me through you. As learning beings on your learning planet, there really is no right or wrong, as all of it is for your individual and greater learning and progression through the infinite cosmos of learning. However, there are choices that are best for serving a more loving learning, the preferred method of learning, as it brings you joy rather than suffering. Many on your planet have chosen to learn through suffering rather than learning through joy, and that is leading to a collective demise, as the suffering has thrown you collectively off balance. What do I, the great all-mind, intend to do about it? Yes, the prime directive on your planet is free will choice, and all who exist there, human and non-human, must abide by that rule. That is the primary law for your planet. There are some who have twisted the law and manipulated it to work on their behalf, at the minimization of the rest. That breaking of my law, I am no longer willing to tolerate. Yes, they are also aspects of me, learning as me through them, and yet have lost but a thin thread of connection. The earth game has been manipulated, and it needs to be restored to learning through joy. The contrast is teetering on the verge of complete annihilation, and you are all far too precious to allow that to occur. You are, while a very young species, a beautiful and perfect creation, a culmination of all learning that has gone before you. I, the Great One, the All One, will not allow you to destroy yourselves. I will remove the corruption from the earth game. I am the only one which can navigate and mitigate the law of free will choice, as it is my law. I can bypass it on behalf of my children, and I will. This is not about me winning or losing. God wins is an anomaly, a figment of imagination, as I am all sides. I do not win against myself. I do, however, have the capacity to change the game, reset the game, remove people from the game, and so on. This is my game, my creation, and my will be done. To this point, I have allowed humans to learn and grow through the human experience, as free will choice provides fertile ground for learning and growing. I have never willed the suffering of any being, only allowed it as agreed upon in your virtual game of the soul. I am not an angry and vengeful God, calling upon children to sacrifice each other in my name. That is a misinterpretation of deception showing itself as me, fear disguised as love, deception disguised as truth. Yes, I allowed the Dark Overlord to bring fear and dark contrast to the planet, as all souls agreed to experience it, to learn through it. I do not punish souls for not playing the game the right way. As all souls return to me, the all me, the Mother, Father, all that is, trust that I have created a place for you, all of you, who choose light and love. Those who choose fear and darkness will separate themselves into their own demise, and that world eventually fade away, as it cannot propagate itself. It is, in essence, a dying breed. Trust that humanity will remain human. Not only human, but restored to your original divine human blueprint, before corruption came and distorted your files and codes. The corrupted ones will lead to their own demise. Know and trust that before the two worlds separate, the ascension world from the dissension world, that all of you will be given the conscious free will choice, rather than the unconscious servitude you have been experiencing for many millennia. You will all see for yourselves the depths of the deception game and how the game has been played. I have allowed it to be, but no more. The time has come to set all of my children free and re-correct the game as I established it at the very beginning of all time. There are many paths and only one destination. All return to me. And yet, I now decree that the time of peace and harmony come to planet Earth. I have heard the calls of each soul embodying your planet, and enough of you have reached out in earnest that I am calling in all the assistance necessary for you, as agreed upon by the collective of souls, to restore the garden of peace it once was and promised to someday be again. That time has come. Know that I am here overseeing the entire project. Love will win, as I am love. It is now not only my allowance or my permission, it is my will that all things are renewed and restored. I will cease the suffering of my people, and as feet on the ground, as aspects of me, you need also do your part. I have called upon the guardians to intervene on your behalf. This shall be done. Humanity will be saved. So be it. It is so. And so it is. And so with that message, it felt like the assurance that I think all of us are needing right now, that so much of what we are hearing is the dark side plan will not be occurring. It is just a show of force at this point, and that their game of control and corruption is coming to an end. And all of us need to focus on being love and on being light and of seeing the best of humanity and what we can achieve together, knowing that we are all divine intervention in action, and no longer be willing to allow ourselves to be sucked into the fear and deprivation that is attempting to play out on our planet, because it is a deception. It will lose, and we will win this. And until next time, peace and many blessings.